A joke or a pact? The alien queen laughed, and then said, I accept. Captain Reeve had never been great at diplomacy. His record with alien species was less ambassadorial and more awkward with good intentions. So when he was chosen to attend the peace summit of Veldar Prime, a planet ruled by an alien queen with the power to command storms, he knew they had either run out of candidates or were sending him as a distraction. The Veldari were towering beings of grace and danger. The queen, Zelari, was especially feared and admired. She was said to have ended wars with a single wave of her jeweled hand. Her voice could calm oceans or trigger planetary quakes. And Reeve, wearing a wrinkled Earth Fleet uniform, stood before her in a hall of crystal thrones. You, she said, tilting her head, her voice like rolling thunder wrapped in silk, are the one they call the accidental peacekeeper. He cleared his throat. Well, that was only one incident. You stopped a war by getting lost in the wrong quadrant. I prefer to think of it as a strategic miscalculation. She smiled. He felt sweat trickle down his spine. The court was silent as dozens of Veldari nobles watched, golden eyes fixed on the small human before their queen. Then she said, Tell me, human, what does your world offer in exchange for lasting peace? Reeve hesitated. He could have said resources, technology, or mutual protection. But instead, perhaps from nerves or instinct, he blurted, A marriage pact. Silence. You could hear a crystal petal fall. He blinked. Why did I say that? The queen raised an eyebrow. A marriage pact. He chuckled nervously. Kidding. Joke. Earth humor. Sometimes we use absurdity to ease tension. She leaned forward slightly. So you wish to marry me for peace? What? No. I mean, unless that's, no. Definitely a joke. A long pause. Then, to his horror, she laughed. Not a mocking laugh, a rich, resonant one that echoed through the hall like thunder bouncing off stars. She stood from her throne, tall and radiant, her indigo robes swirling like galaxies. The nobles stirred. Then, she said, with a sly smile, I accept. His brain sputtered. Wait. What? I accept your proposal. It wasn't a real. You offered. I accepted. On Veldar, a pact spoken before witnesses is binding. Reeve looked around. Every noble nodded solemnly. He held up both hands. No, I was just trying to be funny. And you were, she said, descending the steps toward him. But even jest can carry weight. Especially when the heart speaks beneath the words. He opened his mouth. Closed it. Queen Zelari, I don't even know what your idea of marriage is. She tilted her head again. Do you wish to learn? He blinked. Are you testing me? I never test. I choose. And you're choosing me. You are curious, unguarded, and unafraid to look ridiculous in a room of giants. That is rare among rulers. I'm not a ruler. You would be. He swallowed. We just met. Then consider this an extended engagement. In the following days, the news spread like wildfire across systems. Earth's representative was betrothed to Queen Zelari of Veldar. Some thought it political genius. Others thought it a disaster in slow motion. Reeve remained in the royal palace, now under constant watch and strange etiquette training. No more jokes. No odd hand gestures. No sarcasm in the throne hall. And never, ever suggest anything unless he meant it. Zelari, for her part, remained amused. You thought me incapable of accepting a jester's truth, she said one morning as they walked among her floating gardens. I didn't think anyone would take that seriously, he replied. Perhaps I've taken few things seriously in far too long. He looked at her, surprised. She didn't elaborate. But from that day on, she called him bonded speaker, a title not of ridicule, but honor. Weeks passed. And something shifted. She no longer treated him like a mistake. Nor a joke. They shared meals. Walks. Stories. He taught her chess, she taught him how to read clouds to predict emotion, a lost Veldari art. He began to notice the cracks beneath her elegance. The tiredness she hid. The sorrow in her laugh. The loneliness in her throne. And she saw in him not just an emissary, but someone who saw her. One evening, he found her alone on the balcony, staring at the twin moons. "Do you regret saying yes?" he asked softly. She didn't turn. "No," she whispered. "I regret that it was the first offer in 100 years that didn't come with warships." He stepped beside her. "You knew it was a joke." "I knew it was real. Somewhere beneath the nervousness, you offered yourself, not as a soldier, not as a representative, but as a bridge." He looked down. "I didn't expect you to say yes. I didn't expect to want to." Silence. Then she reached into her robes and pulled out a small crystal, glowing with internal light. "This is the stone of accord," she said. "We use it in ancient bonding rites. Touch it, and it becomes bound to both hearts." He hesitated. "Are you asking me again?" "No," she said. "I'm asking you now, and truly." He looked at her, the Storm Queen, the Cosmic Empress, the woman who had laughed not to mock, but to accept. Slowly, he reached out. Touched the stone. It flared with radiant light, not blinding, but soft, pulsing with shared heartbeat. Her hand met his. And something incredible happened. A warmth spread through him. His thoughts opened, not violated, but mirrored. He saw her memories. Her loneliness. Her centuries of rulership. The weight of peacekeeping. Her or when she first saw Earth from orbit. And she saw him, his flaws, his failures, his humor used as armor. His desire to matter. To do good. Even if by mistake. The bond faded into a glow between them. They stood in silence. Then she smiled. "You did not expect this either." "No," he said. "But I'm glad it wasn't just a joke." "Now it's a pact," she whispered. "And one the stars will remember."